are you, everybody? Let's shut this lovely Joe Matarese show music off as we shut this off. How are you? How are you today, everybody? Welcome to a spontaneous...
You don't say what you're doing.
No.
Let me just pause this video real quick,
let me
Mersh.
pop this down, and
we just turn this
mic
off. Let me make eye contact with producer Chris.
That exaggerated way of talking is not natural and so Opie-like.
It is.
I can't get away from the Opie.
There's a lot
thing.
of Opie parallels I've been picking up.
And now
on.
the knit hat.
and there's actually one. I'm glad you said Opie.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me there's something he does specifically that is exactly how Opie thinks.
welcome to a
Those are the most
spontaneous...
medicated eyes I've ever seen.
Yeah, I found out about that this week too. He is definitely on medication.
Spontaneous live, as I got to get in the car in probably about an hour and a half.
So basically what he's talking about is he has a show at Governor's later this night.
Oof.
And he's live broadcasting for 12 people and going, if you're in the Long Island area, come down to Governor's tonight. I got another show tomorrow night. Dude, this is not a good promo. You'd be better off putting flyers underneath windshield wipers. All right. So now he's doing a Jim Florentine impression and having fun with his soundboard.
Great. It's a fucking great impression. It deserves a sound effect, as I'm enjoying my sound effects. Yeah, it's fucking beautiful. The other day, I rented a porn and I returned it fucking 30 minutes later. I'm like, I'm done. I'm fucking done. How are you guys tonight? You seem like a fucking great crowd. All right, that's enough. I'm not fucking Matt Reef. I'm not doing crowd work.
It's Matt Rife.
Matt Rife.
Does he not know? Matt Reef.
And are we doing, is the premise that we're renting VHS porno tapes in 2024 and returning them?
If I'm Jim Florentine, I'm like, cease and desist. This you can't. I'm not
Don't
that
ever
hack.
mention my name again.
Yeah.
You're on the Chad Zumock list now. Don't call me.
I don't do bits like that, buddy. How dare you? All right. So now he's reading comments. This is a bad format for him. And again, similar to Opie, where Opie goes on and just pulls up random comments that are happening in his live stream, and half of them are ripping on him. It's like, this is a bad format. Stop doing that.
Yeah, it, like literally Opie streams are all, yeah, man, how about those Jets? Yeah, they had a good season. And then the next one's like, Anthony and Jim fucking own your ass. And it'll be like, man, I'm over it. I'm over it. It's like I don't want to do it anymore. He sounds like Marge Simpson after a while.
All right. So this is also a bad format for Joe, because there's no one there watching him. So saying like, I'll just read the comments as they come up, and he just sits there.
Nobody's listening. What a format.
Decline host says, LOL. Huffy, what do we got here? Fucking Huffy Dealey says, yes. And one of the greatest Florentine sayings of all time is, why would you do that? Why? Why would you do that? It's fucking, there's no reason to fucking do that.
Why would you let a
told
cop
all
cuck
5
you?
people about your show. Now wrap it up. Ed Gallagher, fucking brutal. He's fucking brutal. He's going for the fucking jugular. I love it.
See, you should be saying funny shit like, I got cucked by a cop.
Right.
My wife left me for a guy who makes $50,000 a year. Like, that would have been funny.
No, just brutal. This is my Florentine. What are you, 5? So he says there's 14 people watching, and he's on here promoting his gig, and then people stop watching him, and he figures out why right here, and this is so Opie.
All right. We're down to 10. Well, down to 9. It's fucking dropping fast. We need a new fucking voice. Give me a new voice.
Give
me
problem.
a new voice.
Yeah.
Somebody who's listening live. Give me.
It's not the voice, shithead. It's that you're not entertaining in any single way.
Yeah, I have an idea for a voice. How about the ghost of Joe Matarese?
New voice. I'll channel out of Jim Florentine into somebody else.
That's so embarrassing. I got 10. Now we got 9. All right. Well, hey, guys, tell me what to do so I'm funnier. I like that he thinks that there's like a word of mouth going around. Like if he just starts getting funnier, all of a sudden people are just going to start piling in.
Oh, he's funny again. He's funny.
Yeah.
Mom, I know we haven't talked in a couple
Artie
years.
Lang now.
Yeah, you got to tune into Joe Matarese. Now, what would you do? I'll ask both of you guys. If you're doing a live stream and there's 9 people watching you, what do you think you would do? I'll answer for you. You'd ask for super chats, of course.
What?
You'd expect those 9 people to start giving you money.
Huff Dealey says, get it. How come nobody's fucking doing super chats? Fucking throw me a couple fucking dollars. I'm doing governors on a Friday.
I need gas money.
I got to leave in rush hour. It's fucking brutal. How much money can I be making? Help me out. Help me out. Steiner loves it. This is a good podcast, he says. This is a good podcast. It's fucking brutal.
That's not what he said.
No, it's not what he said. And I love that he's like, guys, can you start super chatting me, please? I would work on a threshold of like 100 people maybe before you start thinking that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, like if I just do Nightwave alone on Rumble, right? I'll average between 800. Sometimes on a good show, I'll have 1,000 people watching. Out of those people, maybe 25 people will donate at some point. It's not a very high percentage, bud. So you're looking at maybe 1 super chat?
Maybe if he's lucky or someone takes pity on him.
And also, why are they going to super chat when you're putting every comment on the screen for free?
Yeah, that's the other problem too. It's like, what do I get for super chatting you? You have nothing else going on. So
Nick Ricada won't even read a super chat less than fucking. If it's like $10 or less, he won't even read them.
Right? Yeah, it's very different. But this is the problem, though, is that guys like Joe Matarese are all of a sudden getting brought on Misery Loves Company.
Right. They're watching that.
They're watching Kevin Brennan just read super chat for super chat. They're just like, guys, I'm live streaming. Why don't you super chat me? It's like, well, that's not how this works. Sorry. It works for Kevin. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't
you
work
have to
for
take your shirt off and threaten to fist fight Chad, and then like they'll come over to your stream later. That's how this works. You understand? You're all buffoons. And the bigger of a buffoon you are, the more we'll watch you. Joe, the reason people watch like Patrick Melton and Chad Zumock and like all and Ray DeVito is because they're spiraling. And it's fun to watch. You know what I mean?
Right. So, I mean, Joe is too, which is why I'm watching him, and I think he's going to build an audience
but it's
similar.
a sad spiral. Like he's on medication, and he's like trying to be Mr. Positive all the time, and it's like, no, we want you to spiral. Talk about how you
go
talk
steal
about a
credit
fight you
cards
had
from the
with your
gym
wife recently. You know?
Yeah, do something interesting. All right, so then he starts playing sound bites, and he starts quizzing the audience. Everything he's doing is the exact opposite of what he should be doing. Talking to the 5 people watching you is the worst thing you can do, but he plays a soundbite from a movie and then asks, what is this from?
He just, God, it's terrible. I don't know what he's doing.
Touch me and I'll sue.
What movie is that from? I'll play it again. We'll do Jim Florentine movie trivia. What movie is this from?
Yeah, the winner gets tickets to Governors, my show tonight.
The winner can drive
pick
me.
them up at will call.
Got to be non-Italian or it doesn't count because every Italian knows that one.
Do you know about his Italian thing that he's doing now?
He's always been doing that.
Yeah, but now he's got this comedy tour called the 93.7% Italian Comedy Tour, and it's all
Well, you know what that's born from, right? Have you ever heard when he had a rant years ago that everybody tried to fuck with him and like fake cancel him over? He went off one night and I don't even think he knew the direction he was going in, but he was just talking about how it's hard to get gigs and how certain people have a lot of influence in comedy. And he was like, we should get together like a bunch of Italian comics and start like our own thing. Like we're Italian. And I'm like you mean like a comedy ethno state? Like, that's basically what he didn't realize what he was saying, but it was like, it's too many Jews in comedy. We got to get the Italians back.
See, I am under the impression, and you might know more about the backstory here, is that he just saw Sebastian making all of this money with his over-the-top Italian things. He's like, I could do that too. I could be an arena act. I could do that. Similar to how he wants to be Kevin Brennan on the podcast. He wants to be Sebastian Maniscalco when he does his comedy. He's just doing bad impressions of all of this stuff.
Yep.
Well, Sebastian Maniscalco, really, when you slow him down, he's just a funny Joe Matarese.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Right. He knows how to write jokes that are interesting and funny, right?
But it's the same cadence and everything pretty much.
Do you need it again? What is this?
Touch me and I'll sue.
Touch Me and I'll Sue. What movie?
It's Rocky V. There's not enough people in your chat.
Come
That's
on.
the problem.
What movie is that from?
Thank you.
Touch me and I'll sue.
There's more Rockies than there are people.
Huff Dealey says, if you build it, super chats will come. You're right. Well, that's the plan. We'll go with live as often
The prequels too.
as I can with this new software. It's fucking great. Fucking Ecan Live. It's fucking great. $32 a month if you buy the year. Who the fuck knows if they're going to be doing this podcast for a fucking year? Rocky
I hope
3,
you are.
Huff Dealey says. So close, but not right. That is not correct, Huff.
It was actually First Blood.
So someone does get it right here, and then as a reward, he switches the impression that he's doing.
Oh, thank God.
Touch me and I'll sue.
Touch Me and I'll Sue. What movie?
I hate this.
Ron Paquin. Ron Paquin on the brutal. I just started doing Harry Callis for no reason. I saw Ron Paquin's name, and all of a sudden my voice started to do, up to plate third baseman Ron Paquin for the Philadelphia Phillies, swinging a lacing ball down the third baseline. Incoming to score is Dickie Thon and Ron Paquin. You are the man.
You suck!
I'm sure the impression is spot on, but he's talking about maybe a double down the third baseline, and then he came in to score. It doesn't even make sense. How many fielding errors were there in this play?
This show has the energy of a guy who was locked in solitary confinement, and they forgot about him for years.
They're like, oh, Matarese is still in there?
Oh,
Fuck!
shit, go get him.
Oops.
So he's so bad at this. He starts doing this baseball announcer, and the people are just dropping off. No one's watching.
See who else we got out there in the world of law. Oh, we're down to 2 people watching.
You can actually hear a door slam.
Nobody liked Harry Callis.
And you know he's got a tab open with his own
Ron
show to monitor
Paquin's
it,
list-
so he's one of them.
It's on his phone, yeah.
So there's one dude. Sir.
Yeah, don't go.
This is when YouTube should shut your stream off just out of mercy.
Yes.
This was fucking brutal. Since Ron Paquin's listening, Ron, if you're out there, maybe you throw a super chat in, and then it starts like a sensation, and everybody starts super chatting.
Everybody who?
There's 2 people. I love this. They're just like, hey, why don't you super chat me? And then other people will think that's cool.
Now it's your turn. Now you go again.
This reminds me, and I don't know if you know about this, Mersh, but Chad Zumock got busted about a year ago, I'd say. He was on his show, on his live stream. Things are going slowly. He doesn't have a lot to talk about. All of a sudden, he looks down at his phone for a while, and then he pops his head back up, and a super chat comes up from someone. And Mersh, the super chat says, hey, come on, guys, let's start super chatting.
No.
I swear to God. He tried to grease the pump.
He might be as dumb as Stuttering John sometimes.
Yeah, he really is. It was very funny.
Did you hear the story of Chad when he started emailing people who were canceling Patreons?
Yes.
And like sending them like passive aggressive messages like, well, I guess if you don't want to support anymore. It's like,
People
that's
have
not
read
how you
those.
handle this.
Yes, people have read those out loud on the show because I've seen those emails that go out. And it's also, there's this weird desperation where it's just like, you know, if you want to sign up at the $1 level, you can do that too. It's just like, oh, is this even worth your time to email someone?
I mean, like we have like almost 2,000, I think, people just on locals now that are subs. And like, yeah, Chad, they drop off sometimes. Like people have financial situations change. The debit card gets stolen. They got to order a new one, whatever. Like you don't passively aggressively message everyone the next day over $5.
Yeah. Chad
Crazy.
could be shooting himself in the foot by stealing cards.
Right. Oh my God. So that was the other thing that Chad used to do. He actually did it recently again, where he talks about his Patreon and he goes, "Do you guys see how much Tim Dillon is making? Why can't you give me some of that money?" Like, he's literally saying, like, I want some of that Tim Dillon money. Where's all that internet money going? I want some of that.
Come on, buddy.
Internet money.
Imagine comparing yourself to like that level of somebody. You know?
Yeah,
like,
he
that
just
would
thinks
be like me and Royce being like, "What's up? You can't give us Theo Von money? Like, what's going
right,
on?"
yeah, what's the problem here? Hey, Spotify, how come you're not returning my phone calls? What the fuck?
We're just as good as Theo Von.
Oh my God. You guys are giving money to Tim Dillon and not to me? Yes. Correct. That's exactly what we're doing. All right. One more impression here before
Somebody should have responded with, "Wait, Tim Dillon has a Patreon? I got to go sign up."
Yeah, right. Sounds amazing.
Gotta go.
All right. One more amazing impression here before we get off this
Fucking
podcast.
brutal.
I should just do like whole set like Rocky, you know what I mean? You guys, I'll do the whole fucking thing like Rocky. How you guys do it? All right, I do it. I'm doing Joe Matarese's act as Rocky. So I got this psychologist's wife. I got like brain injuries, and I got a doctor wife. You know, like opposites attract. You know what I mean?
I believe that is Joe Matarese's act that he's doing right now.
Instead, can you do the monologue from the end of First Blood as Joe Matarese? I think I'd rather hear that.
That would be better.
I'll do it next week.
Yeah, we'll get AI to do that for us. So
Nothing's ever over.
we've obviously played his stand-up before where we're convinced he's sweetening it. Yeah. And here he is on his show playing that same laughter and applause that we hear on his stand-up thing. So I think that confirms it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I couldn't be more opposite. I got like a relaxed brain, and she's got a PhD in neuropsychology. I mean, I don't know what she even sees in me.
That's not funny. No one knows what she sees in you.
Yeah.
But I found this video recently. He puts up these like stand-up bits that he has.
Is he still doing the Kyle Kinane thing with the face mask thing on Insta? He was loving that for a while.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
No.
he was doing a lot of those face mask like filter videos where he
Was
would
he
put
doing
like
Rocky?
Stallone on his face.
Of course.
And then like he's doing the yo Adrian, but like that tech isn't perfected yet, so like the face every once in a while pops off and pops back on, so you'll just see Joe Matarese again, or the face will go onto his lamp behind him.
Now that's funny.
Well, also the other thing too is that because like he was saying, he's like, "What voice do you want me to do?" So you guys stick around. It's like, no, you also need to have material.
Yeah.
We don't care that you just do an impression. That's not funny.
Material, you say.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Joe. I do a pretty good podcast. I mean, people kind of know who I am, and I do very little voices.
Right. We don't have to do voices. It's amazing. All right. I want to play you this stand-up bit that he put up here because there's a grift going on. I think he tried for this. This is from last summer. I think he tried this angle and it didn't work out. He tries a lot of things.
I didn't find out my dad had this anxiety thing until my 40th birthday. I planned a cruise. We start pulling away from land in Fort Lauderdale. I'll never forget it. He's looking out the porthole in the ship and he just starts going. Oh my God.
That's got to be sweetened, right? Something funny about someone breathing heavy who has anxiety, I wouldn't think.
Oh, you think he's adding them in?
I think so, because some of this doesn't even seem natural. But okay, let's see where he's going with this.
I'm like, Dad, what's going on? He's like, I don't know. I think I'm having one of my anxiety attacks. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, I've had an anxiety problem most of my life. That's what he says. I go, why would you never tell me about that? He goes, thought it might have skipped a generation. This isn't Teen Wolf.
It would have been really nice to have known that this anxiety thing was running through my family, because it ended up doing a lot of damage early on in my comedy career before I started taking antidepressants. Which
Yeah, now you're doing great.
Yeah, he looks terrible right here.
Yeah,
So-
he looks really bad. Like that lighting is not doing him favors.
No. So he cuts to this video right here after he shows his little bit about his dad had anxiety or panic attacks. So now he goes into this, and this is crazy.
Could make all the anxiety go away. It really hurt my career. I wasn't able to go on airplanes, to go do gigs when I...
He's pitching SSRIs right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Pfizer's hot right now.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, he's trying to get out of that train.
He wants that Travis Kelce money.
Wanted to is the word transform, transpose into anger really easily. And then I marry a psychologist, and she notices in me that I get angry way too easily, and you should try going on antidepressants. Life-changing. If you're somebody out there who suffers from anxiety where you're afraid to even get on an airplane, you overthink things, you have anger come out of you from the littlest thing, you might want to go see a psychiatrist. At least start doing therapy, because doing therapy was life-changing. I've been in therapy for years.
You seem so happy.
Yeah, I know. It's going really well. This is like when Howard Stern says, yeah, I see a psychiatrist 4 days a week. I'm like, well, I'll never do that. You seem miserable.
Everyone I know that goes to therapy and takes these drugs are just shells of people. They don't seem happy.
The reason why I said that this is a grift is underneath this. So this is stand-up from my special, medicated, available free on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. And then it says, to hire me to perform for the mental health comedy show for your group or organization, along with speaker/comedian Dr. Matt Ballas, contact him at... So he's promoting this thing where I guess if you have a whole company of anxious people, do a retreat where they're like, hey, we're going to hear from an anxious comic who takes SSRIs and now it's feeling better.
Yeah, Joe, come on out and do the anxiety bit, would you?
Hear me out on this. If you're feeling depressed and anxious, why don't you hire a funny comedian? Do like funny stuff and not talk about my fucking anxiety or my panic attacks.
Good point.
So I don't think this worked out because this video has 98 views. It's from June of last year. And there's two likes on it.
Jesus.
Most of those people off themselves.
Oh, and I just unliked it.
Oh, come on. This poor guy.
So well.
I'm really pouring salt in the wound.
Yeah, you're going to send him into
fucked his ratio all up.
So that is Misery Loves Company star Joe Matarese.
So he's been going on MLC because I don't really watch MLC because it's on at 4:00 and my show's on at 4:00.
Right.
But is it? I guess.
Well, I have a couple clips. So he was on yesterday.
Oh, no.
And they're talking about me. And Joe Matarese doesn't know who I am. And he's on there with Tookie and Ray DeVito, who I'm friendly with both of those people. And he's got Joe Matarese who doesn't know who I am. And Kevin Brennan's really trying to push this Carl's a loser thing.
Kevin.
I
so
think
you and Kevin never patched it up, huh?
I think I would have broken Kevin Brennan because he's trying to push this so hard to get everyone on his side. So they're talking about the video where my wife comes in the room and I was playing my mandolin. I set it down on the floor. I'm like, hey, careful, there's my mandolin right there. And she asked if I had taken a nap that day. And I said I didn't. And so he's explaining to Joe Matarese, like, you got to see this video. It's so embarrassing. He's building it up. Adam can't find it. So they're just talking about it. Finally, over an hour in, he finds the video. And he's like, oh, we got the video. Joe Matarese is like, oh, I can't wait to see this video right here.
Instagram stories. Instagram boring stories.
Jesus, yeah, I get it. Because there's no mandolin involved in that story, so it stinks. If there was a mandolin involved, then it'd be noteworthy.
Oh, I got the clip if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
we
yeah,
of course
I gotta
do.
see
I would
this.
suck a dick. I would Jim Norton's wife's dick to see this.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. So you hear Joe go, oh, yeah, we definitely got to see this because we've been building this up. Kevin Brennan on the show said he would rather make out with a dude than a woman who's older than him. And Tookie's just like, well, that's gay. What do you mean? Would you rather have like a woman who's older than you than a dude? He's just, and so
what? You
that
don't
was
want
a
to tongue
weird
kiss
angle.
dudes instead of old ladies? I want to suck a dick, Chad.
So that was a weird angle that he had. No one went along with that.
Gay stuff today. I had to kind of pull it off of another thing, so it's not great quality, but here you go.
Sorry.
Careful the mandolin.
I know, I see it.
I was doing requests.
Okay.
We were flagging requests for a little
Good
bit.
job. Did you take a nap?
I did not.
That was my request.
All right, so that's the full video. Joe's staring like, what just happened?
One more time.
Yeah.
A good measure.
Careful the mandolin.
I know, I see it.
I was doing requests.
Okay.
We were flagging requests for a little
Good
bit.
job. Did you take a nap?
I did not.
That was my request.
Watch Joe right here.
Wow.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. Kevin's
I
been
don't
building this
either,
up.
though. Like that's the best thing. That's how anybody who doesn't know the parties involved should react to that absolute like non-video.
I know the party's involved, and
it's nothing.
It's nothing.
Brennan did 2 hours on this.
Wait, so your wife came in the room, and you guys had a nice, friendly, brief exchange. And
yeah, she just got home from work.
About with your stream.
Yeah,
wow.
I just came home from work and came in. But Kevin had to do 2 hours on this,
of course,
because he's got nothing on me, so he had to make it seem like this was a big deal. And he's gaslit some of his audience into thinking that this is this crazy sick burn. But look at how hard he has to work to explain to Joe and the rest of the crew how embarrassing that is.
The worst thing ever.
I thought we were going to watch you shoot 3-pointers.
That video made Kevin's year, Joe.
That's his mom wife asking him why, disappointed that he didn't take a nap like you would treat your son. And he was asking her, "Can you please be careful of my mandolin? Please don't step on my mandolin."
Yeah, we saw the video.
That's the kind of.
He's explaining why it's so embarrassing, though, Mersh. You're not understanding this?
I'm not getting it. No, I'm sorry.
It's the craziest thing ever.
Marriage they have. Dr. Steve said maybe the "don't step on my mandolin" is a euphemism for they're going to have sex. or the napping was a euphemism for like, let's go Betty by. I mean, it should never be. Adam, keep that.
He doesn't even have anything to make it sound bad.
Do you see how hard he's working?
It's like you go and taking a nap or something. It's like, what are you going to bed? You're going to take a little nap? So you're rested? What is that?
Trust me, Ray DeVito wants to give him something. He wants to please Kevin Brennan. Tookie wants to please him. They're all just staring at him like, I don't know. What else are we supposed to say?
Hey, boss, you going to say anything?
Honestly, Tookie kind of sandbagged them. If you go back a little bit when he goes, devastating.
Yeah, worst thing ever.
Yeah,
he said devastating.
Me and Rocco are boys.
Saying keep that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just hold on to it because
keep it in. Put it on the soundboard. If we have a soundboard, put it on. Audio and video have their own separate fucking channels.
That's brilliant.
Carl's a fucking clown. Tookie is one of his best pals. Tookie, you can tell Carl he's a fucking clown, and there's no way you can watch it and go, wow, they must have a lot of sex. They have a really. He's worried about his mandolin, and she's worried about him taking a fucking nap, just like your mommy would.
Carl, you're a clown, and you don't even have a lot of sex with your mom. Got it, boss. I'll be telling him. I'm going to tell you this, Carl, to your face, just like
everybody covered for him. Wait, no, they have a loving, and she wants him to get his rest because he works so hard doing his prep for his shitty show where he watches more Stuttering John clips.
Mm-hmm. What a homo.
Thank you, Tookie.
He's totally sandbagging him there, and he doesn't even realize it.
What a homo.
You don't even have enough sex with your mom.
Well, he's basing it on a 7-second clip that he saw and has watched 1,000 times. He's like, look at this guy's sex life. Why do I have sex with my wife every second of every day, sir?
But here's the thing, right? Again, it's just a mundane clip, and you're both being polite. Like, it would have been a funny clip if you guys had a little spat or something, or there was like a quick, almost a flash of like a fight, and you're like, not now, or something, and then she leaves, and you're like, ooh, okay, that's juicy, that's funny. But she literally just came in from work. She's like, did you get a nap in? Nah, I was doing this. All right, well, what can you do?
You know what I think might have happened? Because as I'm trying to make sense of this too, and I'm involved, so it's hard for me to take an outside perspective. I think that the word mandolin was mistaken as like Mandalorian, and they thought I was talking about Star Wars toys or something at first. It's like, no, it's just those are in a different room. Yeah, right? Yeah, the Star Wars toys are upstairs.
Yeah,
the mandolin
don't touch its Mandalorian.
I think that's
he got
what
a baby Yoda there? Does he nap with it?
Because I went on Ray DeVito's show, and Ray was trying to bond with me. He's just like, yeah, so you got Star Wars toys too? I go, no, I don't. He goes, okay. Because Ray literally still has Star Wars.
He was going to bond with you over something. I thought he finally had an adult man to bond with over Star Wars toys.
Can you ask the mom wife if I can sleep over?
I don't know. She's in a bad mood today. She was stepping on mandolins all morning. So.